Praise the Lord. Good morning, everybody that's listening to us. Pleasant good morning. Uh, Let us pray first. Father, we thank you this morning for allowing us to be here again. For we can share your word with your people. I pray, God, that I decrease and you increase, God, that whatever we share here today, all the glory goes to you. We don't seek our own glory or fame or fortune, but we seek only to enhance the kingdom of God, your agenda, God. We thank you. We love you. Praise you, God. I pray, God, that some soul that's lost will be converted to the gospel of Jesus Christ, God. I pray, God, that somebody that's down there will be lifted up. Well, thank you right now, God, and what we say today, God, is going to be uplifted, it's going to remove burdens, destroy the yoke. In Jesus' name we thank you, amen. Well, I want to say thank you, those of y'all that were preparing to come out to a parking lot praise with us. We couldn't chance it because of the weather. We heard there would be a 90% chance of rain today. And I don't believe in putting people in homes way. The weather patterns that we have been experiencing here in Louisiana, sometimes just a regular little pop-up storm will turn into something major. So we just want to take a chance. So thank you. We already scheduled it. We will be hitting you up on live on Facebook or whatever, Zoom, Snapchat, whatever they got out there today. We'll be in touch with you, let you know that we rescheduled the date that it'll be on. So just bear with us until we reschedule. Hopefully we'll see you in the parking lot real soon. Amen. But listen, today I want to talk about lessons from the storm, part two, lessons from the storms of life. These lessons that we can learn from our storms. Um, Y'all remember on last week? Now listen, I want to recap, and if I can do this in about 15 minutes, recap about some things that we talked about last week, kind of reinforcing it in your spirit. We say that a storm is a violent disturbance in the atmosphere accompanied by wind, rain, lightning, thunder, hail, snow, etc. We shared that with you last week. Also on last week, we told you that storms have seasons. Storms have seasons. A season is a period of certainty or inevitability that has to happen. Storms, you have to go through storms in life. They do come, whether you expect them or not. There will be storms that come up in your life. There will be storms that come up in your life. I know I don't like them. I can remember when we were kids and we heard that the storm was coming and would be excited. And the reason why I'd be excited because we didn't know any better. But then when you grow up and you learn to damage these things with the loss of life that we can encounter, you learn to reverence them. So your storms in your storm season will approach you. In 1 Peter 4th chapter, the Message Bible, 1 Peter 4th chapter, according to the Message Bible, um, I'm sorry, yeah, that's it. First, let me make sure I'm in the right place. Let me get it. Terrell, put 1 Peter 4 chapter, the Message Bible, 1 Peter 4, and verse 12 and 13. 1 Peter 4, verse 12 and 13. Let me get to it right quick. 1 Peter 4, verse number 12 and 13. I have it. Here we go. He said, friends, when life gets really difficult, don't jump to the conclusion that God isn't on the job. That's what it said. When life gets difficult, when storms come your way, don't jump to the conclusion that God isn't on the job. Instead, be glad that you are in the very thick of what Christ experienced. You are in the very thick of what you're going through, what Jesus went through. You're going through what Jesus went through. This is a spiritual refinement process with glory just around the corner. In other words, God is molding you through your storm. God is making you what He wants you to be. The storm is not sent to destroy you, it's sent to develop you. When God allows a storm in your life, don't get discouraged. Don't think that God is not on the job. Don't jump to conclusion. Don't think you didn't sin. Don't blame God for what's going on with you. Storms are all part of your life. Just like if you're going to breathe properly, you have to inhale and exhale. They come together. They come with a breathing pattern. So all storm, when it comes to life, you have to have them. If you're going to age gracefully, and I hope you are aging gracefully, you have to realize that every day of your life, every day that passes, you're getting a day older. And most of the time, like most things in life, storms are accompanied by signs, just like when we listen at the weather on a regular basis. They kind of have the technology now where they can tell you what to look for when a storm is approaching. And you can see the visible signs. You can see the visible signs of your aging. Or you can look and see that your hair is getting grayer. Your body, the shape of your body is changing. I mean, you're starting to get a few wrinkles. Things that normally wouldn't happen when you're younger beginning to happen. Why? Because there's a process going on. Storms are sent to process you. So we have to learn that when God allows some things, don't get ready to jump off the ship. Get ready to give God praise because He's bringing you closer to your destiny. So we thank God that He allows some storms. The storms are good for you. Let me say that again. The storms are good for you. They develop you. They cause you to mature. And on last week, I want to say this here. Just can I take just a few minutes just to elaborate, touch down on something I said last week to reinforce? Because sometimes when you're preaching a message, or there are some things when you go home, you meditate on the thing again, and you pick up some stuff that you should have brought out that you didn't bring out, and you just don't want to leave it just sitting there stagnant. So we say that there are three types of storms that every believer go through. First, there's the perfecting storm. Next, there is the protecting storm. And the third thing, there's the correcting storm. So, in the first part of it, the first part of this, the first high point in this sermon is that storms of life come to every believer. So they come to perfect you, they come to protect you, and they come to correct you. Y'all remember last week we talked about when God allowed hardships to make you better? In James, the first chapter, the Amplified Bible, the Amplified Version, verse 1 and 2, James 1 and 2. This is important that you grab this here. James, the first chapter, verse 1 and verse 2. But to get it up there for me, James, the first chapter, verse 1 and 2. This is going to bless your heart when I read it to you. James, a bondservant of God and of the Lord Jesus Christ, all right, to the 12 tribes scattered abroad among the Gentiles in the dispersion greetings. In other words, the church was on the run because of persecution. Consider it nothing but joy. My brother, consider it nothing but joy. When you're in the middle of your storm, consider it nothing but joy. When you're broke, consider it nothing but joy. When you're landing on a hospital bed, consider it nothing but joy, brothers and sisters. Whenever you fall into different type of trial, he said, count it joy. Because we already said that God is in charge of everything. So you can lift up your head. You can lift up your eyes. You can lift up your heart because God is going to deliver you from your storm. The storm ain't going to stay there all the time. God's going to bring you through it. If you're still alive and you have breath in your body, the Bible declares this, let everything that has breath give God a praise because God is perfecting something in you. The word perfecting, God is bringing, with what you're going through, God is going to bring you to a place of maturity. That only what you're going through can get you there. You know, when you're watching your children grow and when they're learning how to walk, a few times when they first start off, you run there and you pick them up every time. But then it comes to a place where you say, I'm not coming to get you. Get up. That's how God is with us. But we're going to learn how to walk by faith and not by sight. When we stumble and when we fall, God is saying, get up, dust yourself off, try it again. Don't stay down. It's all right to fall down, but you give up when you stay down. Get up and try it again. So God is perfecting you through your storm. Y'all remember that you need to count it all joy. Rejoice in the Lord. Rejoice in hope. Paul said again, I say rejoice. So you need to learn to rejoice when you're going through these storms that are maturing you. The next storm I'll talk to y'all about is these perfecting storms. Now listen, these storms are kind of like a curve in the road. Sometimes they'll slow you down. Sometimes you ever been in a rainstorm when it got so bad that you had to pull over and stop? Sometimes these storms here stop you in traffic. This is when you have uncertainties and uneasiness. These are times of misfortune and disappointment. Time when listen at this here. Listen at this. Don't miss this. This is a time when the answer to a prayer is no. You know, we tell people God answers prayer. We want people to think every time God answers prayer, but yes. But sometimes God will say no. And sometimes God speaks to people. I know people that their family members told them, look, don't marry that person. And they went ahead and did it. They didn't see that there was going to be a storm coming behind that. But they went ahead and did it. Have y'all ever been in this place where you could have borrowed money? And God was saying, don't do it. Wait on me. But you got impatient and you went borrowed against the will of God. You didn't count the cost. All you know is you needed money. Do you realize if you needed it that bad, didn't God promise? Now, this is the problem. I will supply your needs according to my riches and glory. And if you needed it right then and right there, God would have supplied it then. So why are you borrowing? And then after you borrow that, you're in a financial storm to pay it back. No is an answer. Listen at this, you're good. No is an answer. 2 letters, N-O. That's an answer from God. And if God is telling you no, he's protecting you. He's protecting you. When we went to rebuild our church after the storm, after Ivy, there was a deal set up that was allowing me to go and get $1 million. It was already set up. And then when I started listening to the gentleman talk about all his friends he was going to bring in and bite off of that million, even before I went sign the papers. How many of y'all know that was God saying, don't do that? It didn't sit right in my spirit. I went home and I told my wife what happened. I said, Sister Frank, this is, she said, baby, look, if it didn't sit right in your spirit, then don't do it. And then I went to God and I shared it with a few of the brothers and the church, in the church, what had happened. And I drove off. I got up out of the seat and the brother even prayed about me going and get the money. And when I got up out of that seat and drove off, he said, now I want you to go to the bank because the guy that's going to set up the deal, he's waiting for you right now. All you got to do is go back there and just sign these papers. Man, you know, behind $1 million, most of them would have went her and signed it. But you know what the old people say? What sound too good? What sound too good ain't good. I said, and when I drove out the parking lot, my stomach flipped and said, this ain't good. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to pray about it. And I prayed about it. And I told God, I said, God, this is what I have to work with. This is what you allow me in dollar figures to have. And I don't think we even had $150,000. We might have had maybe $150,000. It might have been a little bit more, but just about that. And then God said, yes on 100. God, you said no to $1 million and yes on 150,000. How many of y'all know God don't count numbers, but he sure make numbers count? God can take the little you have and turn it into money. Just one trace from the master. Look, don't listen. Listen, if God is, listen, I'm going to tell y'all something that's going to bless your heart. God's will is God's will. Oh, man, that's good preaching, huh? I said God's will is God's will. If God told you to go ahead and do it, he's going to take care of it. I had a couple come and talk with me. He said, brother, Jesus is life, and don't be worried about the details. So he said, if God can give you the ability to trust him, the details on him. And man, I'm telling y'all, listen at me. Man, when we got together and we started talking and we started going, and there was time when the money got low. Even though God was providing, the money got low. How many of y'all know in the middle of what you're going through, God will test you even more? And the money got tight. But it looked like every time we needed something, God would produce it. Oh, y'all hear me. I say every time you need something, God is going to produce it. Because if it's his will for you to succeed, you're going to succeed. And man, we're in the middle of a storm already. The building is gone. We don't have hardly nothing to work with, but we had faith to work with. Let me tell you something. Faith can produce a miracle. You might not have everything you want to work with, but behind the scenes, God is distributing. Oh man, somebody ought to get excited. Somebody listening at this here. It don't look good, but if you trust God, it's gonna be good. Are you hearing me? The storm is listen. God was protecting when God said no. When I felt uneasy about it. When God told me this ain't the way I'm gonna do it. How many of y'all know? We always look for fleshy ways to accomplish something. But in the spirit, it works out a whole different way. I said in the spirit, things are set up. God will set it up to make it happen for you. Sometimes you don't even expect it to happen. You just riding and looking, and then God said, go there. And then all of a sudden, deal done. Are you hearing me? Look what 1 Peter 5 and 7 says. Look what protecting God, he's protecting you when you say no. He said, who are kept by the power of God through faith unto salvation, ready to be revealed in his last time. Put that up on the Message Bible for me, Sister Frank. Put that up on the Message Bible for me. 1 Peter. Oh, he said, verse 7 said, live carefree before God. He is most careful with you. Verse 8. Keep a cool head. Keep a cool head. Keep a cool head. Stay alert. The devil is poised to pounce and would like nothing better than to catch you napping. Go to the next verse. Keep your guard up. You are not the only ones plunging to these hard times. You're not by yourself. You're not the only one going through a storm. You're not the only one going through hardship. You're not the only one that don't have enough money to pay your bills. You're not the only one that's in a crisis where your children might not be going back to school. You're not the only one that have a corona victim in your family. That's all right. They ain't gonna die. It's the same with Christians all over the world. Keep a firm grip on the faith. Grab hold to your faith. Boy, that's good, huh? Grab hold to your faith. Man, that's good. That's good stuff there. So y'all see, because God is protecting you the whole time. God is protecting you. Now I like what it said. Look what it said in the other. Listen at this here. Let me read it from. I want to read it from there, but I need to give it to you from the Amplified. Who are kept by the power of God unto salvation, ready to be revealed in this last time. Wherein, look what Peter said, we greatly rejoice, though now for a season. For a season. Listen to this here. If need be, you are in heaviness through manifold temptation. You got trials back to back. That the trying of your faith be much more precious than gold that perishes, though it be tried with the fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. Peter says this, you need to be where you are in this storm. You need to be in this time of heaviness. You need a good pandemic to pass your way every now and again. But you know what it's doing? It's perfecting you, it's protecting you, it's getting you where God wants you to be. It's a protecting stone. God, how many of y'all listen to this? Even though many have died, over 130,000 people that died in this pandemic, you're still here. That's the goodness of God. Can I tell y'all something? Because everybody has an expiration date, it just happened to be this time of this pandemic that these people had their expiration date. They had to go. Even if there wasn't a virus, they would have left here. Now, y'all say that, now, Bishop, I doubt that. I'm going to tell you something. When it's your time to go, you're gone. Amen. The last storm I told you I'm going to take my 15 minutes to do this, is the correcting storm. The correcting storm. How many of y'all know we done did some things to ourselves? Well, I done caused myself to be in some hardships and hard times. Man, I done did some abuses to myself that if I would have been hard-headed and pig-headed and listened to the wisdom of some people that God had placed in my life, I wouldn't have went through what I went through, but because I didn't want to listen and I wanted to try it on my own, let me tell you something, every situation in life has a lesson that you can learn. Amen. Man, I'm going to tell you, boy, man, Remember my wife, we used to, man, and they get tight, we'll go borrow us some money from a finance company. Man, them people don't look like they never get through paying them people, man. Good Lord, I hate them. I don't even, when I see one of them pop up, I ride the other, I go another week. I don't want to look at them. That's how bad. Oh, buddy. And they're sending nasty letters and they make phone. They'll call, when they get your number on your job, they'll call your job for you. Boy, that's disgusting, huh? You on your job working and you say, you got a phone call and call this number back, this local finance, boy, you just gonna cuss them people. Oh my God, come on somebody. But thank God for deliverance. Hey, thank God for deliverance. We don't go there no more. I'll wait on God before I do that. Amen. I'm telling you, I'm going to tell y'all something. I want to speak to the payday loans right quick. I'm going to tell y'all something. You don't need that money that bad. If you didn't have it, you could wait. Well, why didn't we panic when they didn't have these cash cows and checking the cash and cash in the check? You hung in there before that. Come on, man. Your barriers, that's going to be a self-inflicted stone. I'm just telling you. Listen, Jonah. I talked about him last week. He put himself. Let me clear something up. Can I clear something up, Mr. Friend? Go to Jonah, the first chapter, because this is, and I'm gonna tell you something. Some people jump into ministry behind this scripture because I want to help you. I'm here, Bishop, here to help you. I want to help you. Some people jump into a ministry behind this here because they feel like they could do something as far as preaching. And I don't want you to make no mistake and just jump. I believe God called men all the time. But I don't want you in the book of Jonah, the first chapter in the book of Jonah. Man, I'm gonna tell you something. This is going to really minister to you. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah, the son of Amittai, saying, watch this here, go down to Nineveh, that great city, proclaim judgment against it, for their wickedness has come up before me. Go to verse 3. But Jonah ran away to Tarshish to escape from the presence of the Lord and his duty as a prophet. Wait, no, backtrack. Let's stay there. Let's pause a minute. Jonah was not running from his calling. Because if you go to 2 Kings, the 5th chapter, I believe it is, and I think it's verse 25, where Jonah is in second. Let me get it on track for y'all. Let me get it right for y'all, because I don't want to make no mistake about this. I don't want to make no mistake. I don't want to get you the wrong thing. Let me get it. Jonah. Give me time, y'all. We got a little time, huh? Right. Jonah. Okay. I'm going to find it for you right quick. I rehearsed that in my mind 20 times, say I wasn't going to forget it. And I forgot it. Jonah was, he preached to when Josiah became king. I mean, when Joash had became king. And I'm believing in 2 Kings 15 and 25. Or 2 Kings 5 and 25. But this is the same Jonah. This is the very same Jonah that preached to Joash back in the day when he was king. Joash, God said, so my point is, he was not running from his calling. He was running from the presence of the Lord. He was not running from his calling, because it's the same Jonah, and it mentioned the son of Amittai, that he was sent to go preach in 2 Kings and he was sent to Joash to tell Israel to repent. So Jonah, here's the thing. I don't want you to mistake a desire for a call on your life. Listen to this here. Don't mistake a desire for a calling. Jonah was not running from his calling. Jonah was running, trying to escape the presence of the Lord because he knew that he had a problem with these people. He knew that the people that God was sending to. Now listen what I'm boy, that's going to get good. Now Jonah was not a racist, but he was prejudiced. Not a racist, but he was prejudiced. And God was correcting some things. The word prejudice means a preconceived opinion that is not based on reasoning or actual experience. In other words, you judge people without even knowing them. You can be prejudiced against a person that's the same color with you. So prejudice is not a racial thing. It just about you judge people because we figure we don't like them. They don't look right. They look mean. How do you know how they are unless you get up close to them? You can be a prejudiced person without being a racist, but it's impossible to be a racist without being prejudiced. Listen at this here. A racist, like this here, Jonah wasn't a racist. I'll clear it up. He wasn't a racist. A racist is a person who shows feelings of discrimination, prejudice against people of other races, or who believe that a particular race is superior to others. In other words, when you're a racist, whether you're black, white, green, brown, whatever color you are, you believe that your race is superior. So Jonah didn't believe that his race was superior, but Jonah knew that these people God was sending him to had did some wrong thing, and Jonah said, "I don't want to go down there. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get now. Watch this here. I need to say something when I finish reading this here. But Jonah ran away to Tarshish to escape. Watch this here from the presence of the Lord, and to do that in the prophet, he went down. Listen at this here. Now notice. When he tried to go away from God and God's will, he couldn't leave out of God's presence. But when he tried to avoid the will of God for his life, notice what it says, he went down to Joppa and found a ship going to Tarshish. Go to the next verse. The most remote of the Phoenician trading cities. Now he said, man, God ain't down there in Tarshish. Ain't nobody know where Garyville or LaPlace is, so I'm going to go down there. So he paid his fare and went down. Now watch this here. How many of y'all know when you step out of the will of God, it will cost you some money? It cost him some money. He paid his fare and went down into the ship to go with them to Tarshish away from the presence of the Lord. Long as you're in the will of God, you can keep money in your pocket. Let me tell y'all something. You just look at somebody that's been living a fairly clean life and decide they won't go start running in the world. It's going to cost you some money. Why pay money to go to hell? You can go there free. You know, you ain't got to pay nothing to go there. Hell is a free place to go. But if I'm going to go to hell, I'm going to go free. But he's spending all his money trying to get away from God. And then all of a sudden, he's in a storm that he caused. But the Lord hurled a great wind toward the sea, and there was a violent tempest on the sea, so that the ship was about to break up. In other words, because of his willful act to go against God, things start falling apart around him. Listen at me, saints of God. You can get yourself into a self-induced storm if you try to walk away from the power and the presence of God. And that was Jonah's problem. He was not a racist. He was prejudiced against the people. Now here's the point. Now God sent him down to go to the next verse. Let me see if that's what I want to be. No, I want to go to chapter 4. Not chapter 4. Go to the next chapter. Go to verse 1. Okay, well, that's when Jonah was in the fish. Well, actually, when he ran away from God and they threw him overboard, he ended up being swallowed up by a whale. I'm gonna tell y'all something. How many of y'all know sin will swallow you? We say this here: sin will swallow you. Sin will swallow you up. And the problem is now, even though Jonah prayed even though he's got swallowed up by fish, then Jonah prayed to the Lord his God from the stomach of the fish. Boy, I'm going to tell you this here. You can say what you want. We know how to pray when we get caught up in the mess. And he said, I've called you out of my trouble and distress to the Lord, and he answered me out of the belly of Sheol. I cried for help, and you heard my voice. And this for you cast me into the deep heart of the seas, and the current surrounded me and engulfed me, and all your breakers and billows where you pass over me. Then he said, I have been cast off out of your sight. Nevertheless, I will look again toward your holy temple. Jonah said, Lord, I'm trusting you. We have been taught wherever we are in life, we can call on you. If we remember where the temple is, and Jonah prayed. Now go to the next chapter. I want to get somewhere. I'm trying to get somewhere because I got to finish this today. Now the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time. How many of y'all know God will speak to you again? How many of y'all ever had your children, you told them, you better stop? They ain't listening. Then you told them again. You go down to Nineveh, that great city, and declare the message which I'm going to tell you. Next verse. And Jonas went to Nineveh in accordance with the word of the Lord. Now Nineveh was an exceedingly great city, 3 days walk, about 60 miles in circumference. Then on the first day walk, Jonah began to go through the city and called out and said, 40 days more remain, and then Nineveh will be overthrown. God was telling Jonah, telling people they got 40 days to get themselves together, or I'm going to destroy the city. And what you know, the people repented. The Bible said the king started first. It started with the king. When he heard, he repented. I told y'all last week, the first place where we need to start at is in the house of God. Listen to what the Bible said in 2 Chronicles. If my people, he didn't say if the world would call on him. He said, if my people, he didn't say nothing about the people. He didn't even say nothing about the White House. He said, if my people, which are called by my name, the Christian church, the church of Jesus Christ, if they would humble themselves and come and have a talk with me. Why he didn't invite the world to pray? Because the world ain't going to pray. The world don't pray. The world say prayer, but they don't pray. Say amen, somebody. It's a difference between saying a prayer and praying. First of all, they don't even have a connection with God. They don't have the hotline. You know, there's a phone in the White House, and there's a phone that if there's a person being executed, even in the governor's mansion, and people in position have these phones. And if there's a person that's going to be executed, the highest man in the land could make a phone call and cancel the execution. God is saying, if my people, which are called by my name, I'll pick up the phone and tell them, stay the execution, we ain't going to destroy them. Are you hearing me? If we're going to turn this corona pandemic around, it's going to start with the church in prayer. Let me get to my next point because I want to finish this today. But I want to clear some things up with John. God was correcting some things. And I'm going to tell y'all something. Got a lot of people in the body of Christ. Man, we prejudice to the core. You can say what you want. You talk you love everybody, but no, you don't. You're a lying devil. You don't love everybody. As soon as you see somebody a little different from you, God had to check. Listen, but God had to check. Paul had to check Peter. Peter was eating with the Gentile one time, and when he saw Paul, he backed out. Paul said, Peter, hold up, cuz. What you doing? Well, them people just the same as us. They might not be of the same nationality, but they got the same Jesus that died for them. He died for us too. And they believe in that same cross, and they believe in that same resurrection, and they're just the same as us. And why you backed out when you saw your other religious buddies come through the door? Well, so you don't identify with nobody when you see your partners. You know, I know some people like that. They got some Christians like that. They see you, they're good with you when you're by yourself. But boy, let Brother Bob walk up. You start acting funny. Let me get to my next point. The storm is usually preceded by a calm. I want to say something to those of y'all that got it kind of good in this. The pandemic really haven't affected a lot of people. I'm going to be honest with you. Your food supply haven't cut out. Your health is pretty stable. And you see, wherever there's a storm blowing close around you, you're going to get affected either by the wind or the rain. Something going to Everything ain't gonna stay the same around you. But right now you're going through. Go to Acts the 27th chapter, verse 13 and 14. Acts 27th chapter, verse 13 and 14. The storm is usually preceded by a calm. So when the south wind blew south, look what Paul is saying on the ship, thinking that we had obtained the goal the goal, they weighed the anchor and sailed along the creek, hugging the coast. In other words, we're gonna get to a place where we good. We ain't worried about nobody else, but we good. And that's how people are. We good, I'm good. So when the south wind blew softly, thinking we had obtained the goal, we thought we had it made. See, let me tell y'all something. Be very careful that you don't get too comfortable being blessed in this time of pandemic. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. The storm is raging right now. In fact, they say that the virus is spiked up right now. So that means you need to be extra careful and stop getting so relaxed because they're opening things up. You can walk around people not masked up. You know, you ain't worried about nothing. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go this and that. And I'm going to tell y'all something. You got to watch. Right now, we can't go nowhere. Y'all don't want to hear that. I got faith in God. That's stupid faith. That's not faith in God. That's dumb. You know this place is contaminated with this virus, and you participate in everything going on. She said, but soon afterwards, go to the next verse. Now, that was a calm. But watch this here. But soon afterward, a violent wind called Euroclid, a nor'easter, a tempestuous windstorm like a typhoon came rushing down from the island. A violent wind. In other words, before every storm, there's a great calm. So my thing to you, my word to you, is don't be too comfortable and be ready to get out too soon. Hunker yourself down when you need to hunker down. Do everything that's necessary to do in this time of pandemic, but be careful that you don't do too much or you allow yourself to be vulnerable to catching this virus. I'm just saying. Now this is gonna be excellent to wrap it up with. The storm. Sometimes the storm don't go away right away. That's the next point. How many of y'all ever been going through something? And it's been a long time. I've been sick a long time. I've been sick for a few years now. I've been going through this financial problem a long time. I've been going through this problem with my children now. They start getting grown and they start going away from God and they get in trouble now. I've been trying to talk to them, and one of the roughest thing in the world is when you see a storm brewing in your children's life and you can't even talk to them to talk them out of it. They're just hard-headed. You know, sometimes, oh man, watch this here. This is gonna bless you. This is gonna bless you. Go to Acts 27, verse 16. Go to verse 16. We ran under shelter of a small island, 25 miles south of Crete, called Claudia. And with great difficulty, we were able to get the ship's skiffs off on the deck to secure it. In other words, the little skiff with the little lifeboat that they had to put them on board to secure the ship. Go to the next verse. After hoisting the skiff on board, they used support lines for frapping or to undergird and to brace the ship's hull and fearing that they might run aground on the shallows of Cyprus, of the north coast of Africa. They let down the sea anchors and allowed the sails and were driven along backward with the bow of the wind. Listen to this here. Notice what they did. They had to let down the sea anchors and they lowered the sails and they were driven along backward with the bow on the wind. Next verse. That's what I'm trying to get to. On the next day, we will be violently tossed, as tempest tossed, about by the storm, and taken on water. They began to gestation the cargo. They began to gestation the cargo. Listen to this here. What happened to them? The wind, it was tempest tossed. How many of y'all ever been in a storm when the storm just was having this wind with you? Some of y'all listening at this here, the storm look like it's in control. But remember, even in the storm, God is in control. It look like you're taking a beating right now. Look like you ain't gonna make it right now. Look like your faith level will drop all the way to zero. Look like you ain't nobody calling your phone no more. Ain't nobody encouraging you right now. In the middle of your storm, and ain't nobody saying that to you, and you don't even hear the voice of God right now. Because sometimes God will allow you to go through a situation for a long time, and nobody says nothing, and He don't even speak to you. That's when you got to trust Him. That's where your trust factor plays. That's when you say, God, I know you're there. I can't see you, but I know you're in this with me. That's where you got to sometimes you just got to say, Lord, I'm giving this child to you. Lord, I'm giving this situation to you. Lord, I'm giving, my physical man is breaking down, but God, you're in control. God, I'm letting you have your way right now. I've seen so many people in my life that I love them dearly, and I saw what sickness did to their body. And man, it's discouraging when you see your loved one just withering away. And you know the storm of sickness is beating on their tempest toss. That's what the Bible calls it, tempest toss. That's when the ship, and sometimes you're blowing into the east, sometimes you're blowing to the west. And y'all ever been in something and you don't know where you're at? You just say, Lord, what in the world is going on now? But this is going to help me. This is going to help me. Go to the next verse. Go to verse 19. And on the third day, we threw the ship's tackle, spare line blocks, miscellaneous equipment overboard with their own hands. In other words, they start throwing stuff that they needed to keep on board. That's what you do when you're in a storm. You start saying crazy stuff. And it says neither sun nor stars appeared for many days, and no small storm kept raging about us. But then all hope of being saved was now growing worse and worse, and greater than that. Have y'all ever been in a situation where things got so bad, you say, well, I can see the end of it, I can see how it's gonna turn out. It ain't gonna be good. Lord, if you don't answer this prayer right now, it don't make no sense for me to pray about it again. He said we could sometimes the storm will cause life to get so dark. You can't see nothing in front of you. And that's why Paul was in the storm. He said, man, it don't look good. It don't look good. And then they had gone after we had gone a long time without food because of seasickness and stress. Paul stood up before them and said, watch this here. This is the good part. How many of y'all know this is what I like about God? I don't care if nothing else, you can't see nothing. Ain't nobody saying that. God will send you a word in your storm. Paul said to the men, now watch this here. Y'all ready for this? You should have followed my advice. You wouldn't be in this mess if y'all would have listened. How many of y'all can honestly say, I've been through some stuff? And if I would have listened, it wouldn't have happened. If I only would have listened. When Mama told me don't marry me, if I only would have listened. When God was telling me, don't spend your money on this shit. You don't need that. You got one already. Why are you getting another one? You got two houses. What you need another house for? It's not a need. It's a want. If I only want to listen. Never forget when back in the younger days, whenever I would want to do some things financially for my father passed on, I would go to him. There was a time when I didn't listen. And boy, when I go back to him and tell him the situation, he said, Frank, listen at me. How many of y'all could remember your parents telling you, and then you go back and talk to them and tell you, boy, if you would have listened at me, you wouldn't have been in this mess yet. I wish somebody listening at this would just pull that if I only would have listened. And sometimes the conscience, the Holy Spirit, that prick your conscience in you, they tell you, don't make a move, stay there. Somebody asked me, Bishop, how you know when God answers your prayer? Sometimes you'll say yes, sometimes you say no, sometimes you say wait. They say, well, Bishop, how you really know? I'm going to tell you something. When you're praying about something, and if there's a peace in your spirit about it, a calmness without any fight from any direction, I guarantee you, that's God. But if there's a flinch in your spirit, tell you, don't do it. Pump your brakes, because it's not the time. Paul said we had been going a long time. The storm. See, let me tell you something. The storm will take the appetite away from you. And y'all ever been through something where when you got so bad with you, you couldn't eat? And y'all ever been through a storm that wake you up in the middle of the night? Now, come on, somebody. Any of y'all been through a storm you didn't sign up for? Yeah, I know you don't know what I'm talking about. Listen, that was good. My son, when I was raising him, he decided he wanted to go run with the wild boys, and we were trying to talk to him. My wife and I, we were just telling him something. Boy, he not, don't get me wrong, he would never buck up against us when we told him to sit there and listen. But his action was telling me, I don't care what y'all saying. And boy, he just wouldn't. You know, and one day, my wife said, Frank, she said, Bishop, I'm going to have to let him go. How many of y'all know? But Daddy said, let you go in the first beginning of let him go hit his head. But see, when Mama, the thing that warned Mama for a while, and Mama said, I'm going to let you go, boy. Boy, when that started happening, that drug, baby, the devil started skinning and whipping on him. I mean, he started ending up being incarcerated and in all kind of different situations. And I thank God now. And see, I'm not ashamed. Listen to this. See, sometimes we need to share some personal things that's a little hard for people to say. But my son, he called me from his incarceration. He said, Daddy, he said, you know what? If I only would have listened. And that's all. If I only would have listened to you and Mama. He said, you know what? When I get out, y'all gonna have a road, buddy, because I'm gonna hang with y'all. I said, oh no, we do too much, we won't hang with us. But he said, if I only would have listened. And somebody listening, you're in a storm. Listen to this here. The reason why the storm won't go away, because you didn't listen. If you take that advice from people who have been there, done that. One of the best things I heard before this corona virus came up, he said, Daddy, he called me, he said, Daddy, guess what? I said, what? He said, man, I'm teaching Bible study now. I said, what? He said, yeah, man, I'm teaching Bible study. I said, you do it, boy? I said, Rev, you teaching that? He said, yeah. And then he stopped there. I said, hold up, I'm saved already. I don't need to hear all that. But then you teaching Bible study. He said, man, he said, Dad, he said, I'm tired. See, sometimes you got to get tired of being in these uncomfortable places. That's these storms that we inflict on ourselves. I'm trying to help somebody here today. Whatever, make sure that when you're going through a storm, when somebody that got some wisdom, see some things coming your way, and they tell you, don't do it. Don't. Paul told them before they even said, he said, this is not favorable season to be sailing. This is not a good time to be social gathering. This is not a good time to be going to sports arenas and different things that we love to go to at this time. God said, I done shut this down for a reason, y'all. The reason why I shut it down, y'all forgot about me when you was enjoying yourself. Now you got to focus on me. Come on, church. I tell you what, God has got our mind back on him, because when we were having it good, when I was calm, when our finances got the calm, we could go anywhere we want, do anything we want, stay as long as we want. And then the Lord said, oh, you done forgot about me? I ain't going to church this week because I'm on vacation. I got to go here. God said, now enough is enough. And guess what? I'm going to shut all y'all, and then I'm going to shut the church down too. Good God Almighty. And now, I can tell you what, real church really praying now. Because we tempest tossed, and I don't care what nobody say, I'm sick of this corona stuff. I'm tired of it. Are you praying? And then look, go to the next verse. Go to the next verse. Go to the next verse. But even now, I urge you, I won't finish up on that. Keep up your courage. Be in good spirit, because there will be no loss of life among us, but only the loss of ship. Paul said the ship going to be torn up. Guess what? God will spare us. And somebody needs to take confidence, take courage today, because this stormy end is about to end. Listen at this here. The storm didn't come to stay. God is going to bring you through this one. But I'm going to tell you what you need. Don't forget how God saved you while you were in your storm. See, when we look back, we say God saved us from the storm, but God kept you alive. Do you realize if you're still alive in this time of pandemic, and you know you got underlying factors, you know you got pressure problem or diabetes, whatever, you know you got all that going on with you, and God has still kept you, you better give God a praise. You better say something to us, tell him I'm praising God, because I know I'm sick, but God has kept me. Amen. And this the thing, this is the crazy part. Some of y'all was exposed to corona, but the keeping power of God was on your life, and it didn't touch you. The Bible said when the dead angel went through, when the dead angel went through Egypt, the Bible said when he saw the blood on the mantle, the level of the house, the Passover, when God looked at you and he see the blood, the stone won't pass over you. God bless you. God keep you out. I hope I said something that helped y'all. You know, your storm, you're going to be all right. You're going to be a little tempest tossed, but you're going to be all right. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you. We love you. We honor you. This message has helped so many. It ministered to me in my time on trial. I thank you for just a word. In the darkest hour of our storm, you told us to take courage. Even after Corona is gone, we're going to still be around to talk about how we made it through. We love you, Lord. We honor your name. We pray for the families of those that have lost loved ones due to what's going on, or just lost a loved one, maybe not been from Corona. They're in a season of heaviness right now. But it's only to mature and want to bless them. We thank you right now, Lord, for everybody that's heard this word. If you listen to this message, I want you to pray this prayer, Lord Jesus. I need you. Come into my heart and save my soul. I believe that Christ died for my sin. If I believe that and confess it with my mouth, I shall be saved. Save me, Lord Jesus. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. God bless you real good. I'm glad you tuned in and listened at us today. It's been a blessing to stand before you and talk to you, share with you in your storm. At this church, we always offer Jesus to you. That's why we pray that prayer with you. You know, for guidance to those who are backsliding and you backslid. We tell you, look, God still love you. God still love you. I was sharing that with a brother yesterday. That no matter how far you go down, the love of God is still reaching out there and grab you. And we offer a place of fellowship. We have people just tell us if you're going to join us, even later after this year, you can post or send us or call us or however, get in touch with us. We want you to text the word give to 337 660 2791. 337 660 2791. If you want to help support the ministry. Listen, churches still need money. Yeah. Everything that's operable needs money. So you need to help us out. Or you can mail it to P.O. Box 64 in La Place, Louisiana. If you mail it to us, P.O. Box 64 in La Place, I promise you this year, we'll get it. So just mail it to us, P.O. Box 64. Cash out. Listen to this here. Those of y'all that's into technology and want to give it electronically, that's the $, all caps, MMCOGIC 2K20. MMCOGIC. That's you can cash app us to. That's the Mineville Memorial Church of God in Christ. MMCOGIC 2K20. You cash app us. I promise you we'll receive it and we'll appreciate it to the highest. God bless you. We had to cancel our parking lot praise, but we are rescheduling it currently as we speak. We are rescheduling it already. This time of year is so uncertain, you know, with weather patterns and pop-up showers and tornadoes and all that. We just gotta play it by ear. If I knew it was gonna look like this, I promise you I'd have had the parking lot service. But the weatherman missed it and we missed it too. So just like they say, the street charge it to the game. It's gonna be all right. We'll be back. You'll be hearing from us maybe as early as next week, when we gonna reschedule our parking lot? Oh, yeah, I already know. They already say the third Sunday. Third Sunday. Third Sunday, listen at this, we rescheduling our parking lot praise the third Sunday of this month, and you can come and join us in the parking lot. We're happy to see you. Like we said, we always got something good for us kids. And we have a good word for you. Amen. So God bless you real good. God keep you in our prayer. Uh, I'll be hanging around for about 15 minutes. Listen to this here. I'm going to hang around for 15 minutes. You can call me at 504 382 0766. 504, I promise you, ain't nobody going to know what you're talking about. 504 382 0766. 504. Call me, y'all. God bless you. God keep you in our prayer. Also, want to just thank a few of our members for showing up. Thank you so much for